So welcome everyone to our grant writing info session. My name is Mohammed and I'm joined with Ryan Knight. So let's get started. So before we begin, we just want to go over some Zoom meeting etiquette. We want everyone to change their name to the name that they registered with. You don't have to turn on your camera, but if you would like to ask any questions, you can also raise your hand. Also, just to be respectful to all the attendees in the session and to use the chat if you would like to ask any questions and you don't want to turn on your microphone. So we also like to acknowledge the First Peoples and the traditional land. I would like to begin by acknowledging the indigenous peoples of all the lands that we are on today. So while we meet today on a virtual platform, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the importance of the lands which we call home. We do this to reaffirm our commitment and responsibility in improving relationships between nations and to improving our own understanding of local indigenous peoples and their cultures. So a little bit about Empower Forex. Empower Forex is a business consulting firm. We support all entrepreneurs by providing co-working and business service memberships, as well as training and consulting. We can help you with business planning, operations, financial projections, bookkeeping, grant writing, and marketing strategies. We have various offerings depending on where you are in your journey from ideation to scaling up. And if you want to learn more or connect with us, please visit our website at empowerforex.com, or you can email us at connect@empowerforex.com to set up a discovery call. So here's a brief list of some of the training programs we offer at Empower Forex. There is the Social Enterprise Certification Program, the Mental Health Standard Certification, the Mental Health Supporting Youth Certification, and the Grant Hunter University. And here's a list of some of the services we offer at Empowered Forex. First is our virtual offices that we have at 3 different locations, Ottawa, Scarborough, and Brampton. This is where you can obtain a professional address, business support, among many other things, as well as marketing, grant writing, technology, and management related services. Lastly, we offer BizGrams, which is a promotional live show meant for entrepreneurs to promote their business. So some of our upcoming events include our frequent grant writing info sessions, the DIY to Modify series, our monthly Jelly Social networking events, and the financial literacy events. And you can also follow this QR code right here later on to register. So this is a brief timeline of how we work with our clients in regards to grant writing. First, we have the DIY grant info sessions and the Grant Hunter University, which is a course for social enterprise business owners and nonprofit founders like yourself. They're on the hunt for grants and would like a guided checklist to help along the way. So along the way, we have the funding summary, and this is where one of our specialists look for dedicated grants or grants specific to that client, which they can apply for. Clients can also work alongside us to complete the grant writing blueprint. And for clients that write the application themselves, our team is willing to review it for them. And the cost would vary depending on the size of the grant itself and the budgetary constraints. So the other one is the working group. This is where the client comes into a physical space or a Zoom room, and this is where they write the grant, but a grant writing expert works alongside them throughout the whole process. And the last process to cover is the modify, which is make others do it for you. This is where clients interested in a grant can have one of our grant writing specialists write the grant for them. And the cost can vary between 500 to 3,000 depending on the size of the work. So before we go on, we would just like to give a shout out to our sponsors and partners like One Full Circle, SETC, Calabash, Toronto Community Benefits Network, the Dream Legacy Foundation, Sheridan College, Alterna Savings, and ZSE. So here's today's agenda. You will meet with our facilitator, Ryan, and this is where he will give you an overview of the grants and how we can help you throughout your journey. So I would like to introduce you all to Ryan Knight, our key facilitator. Ryan is a serial social entrepreneur who started a few social enterprises, namely Detailing Nights, but also Service Kingdom, Executives Power Up, and the Black Panthers Cage. He is also the co-founder of the Afro-Caribbean Business Network, where he works with entrepreneurs of Afro and Caribbean heritage to help them figure out what stage they're in and to help them grow exponentially. So now I'll pass it on to him.
All right, and I appreciate that, Mohammed, and thank you so much for everybody that's joining. I do apologize. I am not in front of my laptop. I'm on my phone. left the house without it. Didn't have time to head back before I was halfway to the office. So I won't be. I'm gonna try and still share when we're showing the different grants that are available, but I might just have to talk to it. And I'm not sure how many of you were part of the Mad Dash yesterday. It was the deadline for the investment readiness program. So if you were applying to the Community Foundations of Canada, the deadline was yesterday, but they do have the deadline for the Black Stream as December 1st, but that link, it was taking people back to the old portal, so it's being fixed. So if you've been struggling with that, you are not alone, and we should have some answers for you shortly. But a bit of the history for myself, as mentioned, we started about 5 years ago, really to support entrepreneurs that were ready to scale. And as an entrepreneur myself, there weren't a lot of focused business organizations to go to then because there was no organization to go to, we brought 6 other entrepreneurs together, said, could we create this entity that would then sit down with the entrepreneur, figure out what stage they're in. And ACBN was born. And it's actually our 5 year, I guess our we're turning 5 years old, our 5 year birthday next month. So we're having our 5 year anniversary on December 1st. No, sorry, December 3rd, Saturday, December 3rd. So definitely look out for that invitation. Would love to see you there. It's going to be in Brampton for those that can make it. But yeah, you can go to the next slide. And again, what we've been able to accomplish over these past 5 years is being able to support over 5,000 Black entrepreneurs in the community. But one thing that I'm really proud of is our ability to partner and build relationships with other organizations, especially those that support Black businesses. And now that there's over 40 of them across Canada, our reach has definitely extended to over 20,000, just not just in Canada, but into Africa and the Caribbean, and of course the US. But yeah, seeing how we now have this ecosystem. So no matter what stage your business is in, there's a right uh, organization that can support you in getting to that next milestone. Next slide. And just to touch on some of the pillars that ACBN definitely stands on, of course, entrepreneurship is a big one. I do feel everybody should, at some point, either be an entrepreneur, try entrepreneurship. You know, even if you're young, it's a great time to start a business because you still have a place to live if everything doesn't work out. But even if you're older and working full time, either being an entrepreneur where you kind of understand those entrepreneurship elements, but also having a side hustle, having a company that you run on the side to help bring additional dollars into the household, and of course, take advantage of additional tax benefits. Again, that's a whole webinar in itself, but definitely feeling that entrepreneurship is a great tool for community empowerment and, of course, empowering your family. But then convening, doing sessions like this where we can share knowledge, we can share information with each other, and also our networking and info sessions in person, but also our mentoring. We're trying to build out more of a stronger network that can have people in industry that can mentor others as they're growing or new to the industry. Of course, the big reason that we're all here and something that we definitely try to focus on is that access to funding. So being able to now work with entrepreneurs to get them capital, we've been able to create our own microloan program in partnership with Alternative Savings, but now connecting entrepreneurs with the right capital that they need based on what stage they're in. So that might be investments, it could be microloans or bigger loans, and also, of course, grants that we're going to be talking about today. Next slide. And so we always like to show this slide just as an example, I would say, of the breadth of the type of capital, types of grants, type of money that you're able to pull into your business or your organization. And it ranges from pitch competitions. We've gotten grants from the city, from the province, from federal government, and also dollars from corporations in sponsorships and donations. And you'll see it ranges from as low as $500 all the way up to over $1 million. And one thing that I do say about myself is I don't consider myself an academic grant writer. You know, I definitely didn't study how to be a grant writer, but what I do consider myself is a grant hunter, and being able to find all the grants that we qualify for and then be able to apply for them. And if we don't get them, following up, getting the feedback, improving our application for next time. And that consistency and persistency, I think, has led to us being able to get these amount of grants. And it's definitely something that is duplicatable, if that's a word. It's something that you can duplicate because there's no real secret sauce to it. It's more just making sure you understand what you qualify for, understand how to write the question or write the answers to the questions that tell your story, and then being persistent to make sure that these funders know who you are, and one no will turn into a yes down the road. Next slide. And yes, and what I really appreciate is not just us being able to get grants, but being able to get grants for others. And a couple of the stories that we typically tell is something like Rescue Youth International, where they're doing such great work in Brampton, the Peel area, working with youth that are in the education system or the justice system to help them navigate it. But now they didn't have, I would say, a strong internal grant writing team, so they might miss out on some grants that they qualify for. So we were able to work with them when the investment readiness program came out. Said, hey, we can put together a concept for a social enterprise that they could start, which actually turned out to be a food truck, and that food truck could create revenue that would support the nonprofit. And they were able to use that concept to get the grant through the IRP, which is the Investment Readiness Program. Something kind of on the other side of the spectrum, where Custodia, they're a traditional for-profit business, but operate a social enterprise that supports seniors in the community. Now they were able to also access the Investment Readiness Program, and an organization like New Life Project, where they're in Ottawa. Again, we're missing out on some of the grants that were out there. We were able to work with them, identify the Supporting Black Communities Initiative, and they were able to qualify for that grant. So all this to say, it's the hunting of grants is so that your organization or your business is familiar with what's out there. And then if you're able to apply for it on your own, great. We're happy to give the information. And if you're not, we're also willing to work alongside you so that you're able to get these applications in. We really shouldn't be missing money just because we didn't finish the application. Okay. And one thing that you'll hear me talk about a lot is the ability to create your grant writing blueprint. So now the grant writing blueprint is something that like similar to our do-it-yourself kind of self-paced, our Grant Hunter University walks people through how to do this blueprint. But really it's taking any grant that you're applying for and then making sure to save those questions and your answers and saving them into a Google Doc so that any grant now that you find, you're able to use that as a blueprint. So you're never starting from scratch. And a lot of times I do see that entrepreneurs get stuck because when a grant comes out, they're starting from question one and going through it, and it kind of gets bogged down. When you already have, I would say, 80% of the questions completed, it makes it a lot easier to apply for the next grant. So everything that you're seeing, you're able to apply. So you're really not missing anything. So this is where, as we work through different grants and for the investment readiness program, do stay tuned because this next week, Wednesday, we are going to be doing another info session and working group. So if you're interested in kind of working as a group to walk through each question to see if you're stuck, definitely look out for that. We'll put the link into the chat closer to the end of the session. But this is where using these sessions and these working groups to answer the questions, ask your own questions in case you're stuck, and then saving your answers into a document that you can use as a blueprint. So this is what we really work with our clients to complete. And then when that's complete, use that to apply for the other grants. We do have a business plan blueprint as well. That will be, of course, covered in another session, but stay tuned for that one. And next slide. All right, hold on. Let me just check this file. So one thing that we do, I did find with the federal government is this business benefits finder, which is actually quite interactive. So with this link, and you'll get this presentation and also the link. So the links will be in the presentation. So when you click on this link, it'll take you to the federal government's website where it's like a plug and play tool. So you would answer questions about your business, filling in the blanks, and then it'll show you all the different resources and supports that you qualify for, whether they're grants, loan programs, wage subsidies, or other resources. It's actually quite, I'd say, quite interactive and does give you a lot of options. So if there's any on there that you qualify for, and again, that you get stuck, you can definitely reach out to the Empowered Forex team and they can walk you through how to apply for them. One that I do see that we miss a lot in our community is the wage subsidies and the hiring grants. Some of them you don't have to pay anything up front. The program actually pays the workers for you. Definitely want to take advantage of those. One that's open right now, I know, is called Ripen. I'll try to remember to put the link to Ripen in the follow-up email, but others that also cover part of the cost. So yes, you would have to pay the salary up front, but then you would get either 50 to 75% of that cost back. This is where if you're able to hire people that can bring in dollars or have a good return on investment for the job that they're doing, it makes it worth your while to hire that person and then get reimbursed for part of their salary. So things to keep in mind as we're going through, but we'll go to the next slide and talk a bit more about some of the available grants right now. All right. So the first one that I did want to touch on is the Black Opportunity Fund grant that's in partnership with CIBC. So the Black Opportunity Fund works with CIBC to now create a grant program that is connected to CIBC's Black Entrepreneurship Loan Program. So their loan program, you're able to get up to $250,000 to support your business. But if you're not too confident about your business plan, or also if you do get declined, you're able to go through a grant program with the Black Chamber of Commerce that allows you to fine tune either your business plan, increase your financial literacy. You can increase your credit score and work through a credit repair program, and also then reapply if you still wanted to go for the loan. There is a way to go through the loan or go through the grant program without having to go through the loan. And I'll actually put that link into the chat now, because if you go through Black Chamber, nope, Elevate Black Business, www Elevate Black Business. Oops. Oh, and Sue, let me know if you're not hearing me well, and I can fix that. If it's okay now, yeah, just let me know. But that website,
Okay.
Elevate Black Business. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Elevate Black Business. So typically, you'd have to go to the CIBC portal, apply for their loan, and if you're not quite ready for the loan, they would send you to the grant program. If you just want to go directly to the grant program, you can go to that website, elevateblackbusiness.ca, and you'd be able to work with the Chamber of Commerce and go through their grant program directly. Another one that I do talk about a lot is the BBPA, the Black Business and Professional Association. They have their BADES program, which stands for the Business Advisory and Implementation Development Services. So that grant, and I talk about it a lot because it helps to stop you from spending money on services that you need for your business. So, for example, if you needed somebody to help you with your business plan or your cash flow projections, and well, how do I say that? So, typically, you could do it yourself and go through, let's say, program to get it done, or you could work with a grant like the BBPA has and get connected with oh, Stacey,
Hi, I was just trying to find out where on the Elevate page do we find the program that he's talking about? Someone else asked the question in the chat.
oh, is it not showing the link?
No, it's just showing it's showing 2, 4, 6 programs, but not the grant program that you spoke of.
Okay, let me look through it real quick. Oh, and I think my earpiece died. Are you able to hear me?
It's actually a lot better now.
Yeah, much better.
Okay. That's good. All right, one sec. I think my earpiece wasn't doing good sound.
We couldn't hear you just before I asked the question, but we're good now.
All right, so I do know, so it won't say directly the grant. So when you do sign up for any of their programs, you would let them know that you were working through.
Sound is gone again.
Oh, actually, give me one sec. This thing is still trying to connect to my headset. So, all right, sorry about that. You can see me okay. So yeah, I was saying when you go to the website, any of the programs that you sign up for, you would let them know that you're working on like the CIBC program, you're interested in the grant. So when you sign up, you'd be put into the grant program. Although I should let them know, they should put something about the grant on that site because it's on the Black Opportunity Fund site, but not on theirs. So I'll send that note to them as well. And oh, was that still the same hand, Stacy, or was there another question?
Nope, that was it.
All right, sweet, sweet. So I was talking about the BBPA BATES program. It's a great grant to use because they connect you with provider, handle, let's say, the business plan, the cash flow projections, marketing strategy, or even a marketing execution of the strategy. And then that way you don't have to come out of pocket for those services. So something that you might have needed capital for to do your business plan, you could actually use that grant to get it done. And I did see another hand, Chaitra Kamath.
Yeah.
Feel free to go ahead.
So I was wondering if this slide deck would be shared. I have a friend who would be eligible for like BBPA and Black Opportunity Fund. Like there are so many things for her here. I was wondering if the slide deck or the recording would be shared.
Yes, it will be. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
No worries. And so beyond that one, I do know they have a bit of a backlog. So if you sign up and don't hear from them, give it a week, follow up, send them an email, let them know that you registered. If you still don't hear from them, feel free to reach out to us and we can touch base with them just to get an update on your application. But the website is pretty straightforward. It doesn't have too. Oh, I just did that question. That program wouldn't be beneficial for the US. If you are outside of Canada, definitely send us an email. And Mohammed, please put the email link into the chat. That way we can do research on what grants are available to those in the US and let us know your state. Well, in the email, let us know what state you're in. And then we can pull that report of what grants you'd qualify for. But this one, I know the Black Opportunity Fund, the BBPA BAIDS program, I'm not sure. I think all of these, are Canada focused, but we can do that research for you. All right. And I did see another hand. Oh, was that another hand, Chaitra?
Yeah, I had questions. I know you were talking about the BBPA, but for the Digital Main Street, is it still ongoing? Because I do not
wow.
see anything about that. I had applied for it back in May, and I have been trying to follow up with them, and it's like a black hole. I don't know what's going on.
Okay, then definitely send us an email and let us follow up for you.
Okay, is there an email address that I can use to send you guys?
The first one is connect@empowered4x.
Okay.
So it should be in the chat now.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
No problem. And I didn't realize you're from Australia. Thanks for tuning in. You said it's 5 a.m. We haven't done much research for grants in Australia, but hey, it would be something cool to test out. So email us anyway, and we'll see if we can support you with finding what grants are available out there. But thank you for tuning in. And so Digital Main Street, I did want to touch on that one next. Definitely a grant that I've seen a lot of people get through. They had 3 cohorts over the summer in June, July, and August, and they have 2 different programs. Well, now 3. So the first one, which is actually pretty straightforward, the Shop Here program, which allows you to build a Shopify website. They do have other options. You can use Square to build a website, like an e-commerce store. There's 2 other ones, but the main one that they use is Shopify that I've seen them have really good results with. And when you sign up on their form, then they reach out to you, partner you with a person that's now going to walk you through the whole process of putting together this website for you. So even if you already have a website and e-commerce isn't on that website yet, you can use this to integrate e-commerce. Or you could actually use it to just kind of upgrade your website if you feel the e-commerce function is lacking, for a better term. So the Shop Here program is really good. They do have the Canada Digital Adoption Program. I've recently been going through it. Initially, I kind of signed up but didn't follow through, but it's not as intense as I thought it would. And it's only for $2,400, but they do want to see that you have a payroll, so at least one employee, and you're able to get $2,400 to help with, I'll say, the digitizing of your company. So either adding e-commerce tools or operational tools like digital transformation. So that $2,400 isn't for the traditional operations. It's more for helping your company to implement more technology into your operations. And the third one that they have is called RAISE. So racialized and Indigenous support for entrepreneurs. You can get up to $10,000 to support now the amplification, the marketing, the digital marketing for the business. And this is the one that they did the 3 cohorts for in partnership with Parkdale Innovation Center. So if you're on Digital Main Street website, which is digitalmainstreet.ca, you do need to make an account. And then at the top, you'll be able to pick your province, and then you'd be able to pick one of the 3 programs. So if you do need an e-commerce store built, Shop Here is great for that. If you do need to spend more money on, I'll say, automating and adding technology to your operations, the Canada Digital Adoption Program is great for that. Or if you just were looking for additional funds to help with your online marketing, the Digital Mainly Raise program is great for that. And you can get up to $10,000 for the Raise program. All right. So I apologize, the Desjardins Good Spark Grant is closed right now. So I think they do it about twice a year. And Chaitra, if you did need help with the Raise program, I know it was open and then they closed it. Definitely email us. They were supposed to open it in fall, like the second round of it. It's still fall, so I guess technically they're not late, but we're gonna follow up with them to see if that's gonna be open anytime soon. And once it's open, we'll let everybody know. But for now, definitely go to the site, make an account, just so that you're ahead of the ball.
Sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome. And so I did talk about the Canada Digital Adoption Program. Desjardins Good Spark Grant is closed at the moment. Oh, so you can go to the next slide. All right. So I'll touch on the Toronto Enterprise Fund first, just because I do believe they just closed. They were having their intake up until mid-November. And it's a great grant that helps with social enterprises, but they focus more on employment social enterprise. So an employment social enterprise, again, you're running your company, you have income generating activities, but you're working to employ from a certain segment of the population that is having difficulty getting employment. So they would consider you as an employment social enterprise if you have a focus of hiring from a disadvantaged group. If you are just operating and supporting the community in other ways to reduce barriers, you'd be what they would call a traditional social enterprise. But the Toronto Enterprise Fund, they have two grant streams. The first one is their Catalyst. So you can get up to $10,000 to work on an idea for an employment social enterprise. So if you're working and running a business or a nonprofit right now, and you hiring a specific segment of the population, you can get money up to $10,000 to work on that idea, to create the feasibility study or the business plan for that idea. And then once the business plan and feasibility study is done, they now have another stream, which is called their, I believe it's stabilize or scaling. Yeah, scaling, where you can now launch that idea that you have and you can get up to $100,000 over 3 years. So it's great that they walk you through some one-on-one programs to talk about employment social enterprise, understanding it, and then they help you do the feasibility study, business plan, and then help you launch. It does take time. So this is where we talk a lot about the timelines for grants. Typically, you're expecting like 3 to 6 months, and that's on the low end. Sometimes it takes a bit longer, but doing this parallel with operating your business, increasing sales, it's always a great bonus to amplify what you're doing. On top of that, so talking about now the investment readiness program, and I had mentioned earlier, one of the deadlines for the grant was yesterday at 5 o'clock, which threw some people off because I thought it was later in the evening. So the Community Foundations of Canada, they're one of the intermediaries for the investment readiness program. Their deadline was yesterday. So if you're applying through them and your only option was Community Foundations of Canada, that deadline has passed. If you are from the Black community, you do have the second stream, which is through the Foundation for Black Communities. So they do work with, they call them B3 organizations and businesses where they're Black-led, Black-run, and Black-serving. So that if you qualify for that stream, the deadline is December 1st. One thing that I did notice is the link still takes you to the old portal that had the community foundations and the Foundation for Black Communities kind of linked into one application. So the link for just FFBC is missing. So we're gonna see how to get the link directly so that you can apply for the Black stream. And the Black stream does have there's two streams within it. So you can be either in the explore stream, where if you're unregistered or an individual, so if you're an unregistered group or just an individual, you'd be able to apply for up to 25,000, but you do have to apply with a nonprofit partner. And if you are registered, you can apply for their stabilize and grow stream. So in their stabilized stream, you can apply for up to 75,000. And so again, it's kind of a lot of information coming at once, but we're going to do a specific info session about the investment readiness program next Wednesday at 1:00. And in the evening, we're going to do a working group so that those that are looking to apply, the deadline would be the next day, which is December 1st. So November 30th in the evening, we're going to do a working group so that people can kind of walk through all the questions. If they're stuck anywhere, they can ask their own questions just to help people get unstuck. So I'll put the link to that later in the session, but just keep in mind that one is open. So if you are looking to qualify, you definitely don't have to be incorporated and in business for over a year, like with the Community Foundations of Canada. It is a bit more, I'll say, open to those that are just starting out or those with ideas. All right, actually, if you give me a sec, I will grab that link. And if you go to the next slide, Mohammed. All right, actually, I just got a response from the foundation. So let me see if they have that link for us. One second. All right, so far it is saying that the same link should work. So if you've created if you've created an account on the SurveyMonkey Apply website, but you just have to kind of reload and delete your cookies. So if you're having trouble with that, I'm gonna try it after this session. If that works, we'll send out a message to everybody. If it doesn't, I will get their assistance to troubleshoot further. But for next week, Wednesday, let me grab the link for you. Or Mohammed, do you have it already? Oh, here we go. So I'll put this into the chat. We have seen that it really does help those that are writing the application. If they get stuck, you can come to the working group. And so a good amount of people were able to apply and get their applications in yesterday because the working group helped them kind of get unstuck. A real quick overview, the Ontario Trillium Foundation, they do have, I would say, great grants for nonprofits. It is more tedious and I would say intense to apply for Ontario Trillium Foundation. They are typically looking for organizations that are more experienced or have been around longer, but Ontario Trillium Foundation was one of the first grants that I was able to get back in 2016 with Detail Ignites because of their Youth Opportunities Fund stream. So don't feel like if you don't have an established nonprofit, it's impossible. The Youth Opportunities Fund is more for grassroots organizations. So definitely an option. And because with this option, if you're already running a business, you can pull out that social aspect of it and then create a grassroots organization to apply for grants. And also, you should be looking at collaborating with other nonprofits. That was a big reason I was able to get the grant as well, because we aligned ourselves with a nonprofit that had the same mission of eliminating youth unemployment with using entrepreneurship. So if you find nonprofits that match the vision for their social cause, this is where they could lead also the grant so that you're able to apply for more. And again, the Ontario Grant Portal, there's typically 20 or so grants available within Ontario at any time, but they are focused on nonprofits. So if you're a for-profit company, you do want to collaborate with other nonprofits so that they can lead applications for grants that you would otherwise not qualify for, but you have the ability to execute. All right, next slide. Awesome. And just to wrap up, again, we don't want you to feel like you're stuck and don't get applications in. We do have the service with Empowered for X. If there's any grant that you see that you want to apply for and it's too much on your plate to do it yourself, the first option is, of course, coming to our grant writing or our working groups. Second option is our kind of do-it-yourself guided, I'll say guided webinars with our Grant Hunter University, but you can always just take it off your plate, use one of our grant writing services to get it done for you so that it causes less stress. Next one. It's wonderful. And I was going to put into the chat as well my calendar. So if you did want to talk about any of the grants that I might have mentioned and you just want a bit more clarity, feel free to book a time in my calendar. And of course, we want to see you win. That's the only reason that we do these info sessions. Yes, if you need more support, we do have that available, but really making you aware of this flow of money. There's so much money flowing around us. We just have to position ourselves in front of that flow of money, get more comfortable with how to apply for these grants, and then get those applications in. And from there, if we're unsuccessful, making sure we understand why and learning from that to reapply. And if we are successful, amplifying the great work that you're already doing. So let me put my link to my calendar in the chats. So it's on a Calendly. And all right. And you can go to the next slide. Awesome. And this is a bit of a breakdown of the different services that we do offer, either the self-directed Grant Hunter U University that we talked about, where it's online. We have a lot of the recorded sessions to talk how to answer and create that grant writing blueprint. Of course, if you just need a funding strategy, we can support you with that, or a download or an overview of all the grants that you do specifically for your business or organization qualify for. That would be more in this funding summary. But if you just want to take it off your plate, we can offer the grant application writing for you, which typically ranges between 500 up to 3,000, depending how complex the grant is. Oh, next slide. Oh, sorry, my camera. And again, we want to see you win. Please reach out if you do get stuck. If you see grants that you qualify for, don't miss it just because you didn't put the application in. Reach out to us. We'll help you get you unstuck. And again, we're here each Wednesday after the IRP stuff. I think in the new year, it'll be every other Wednesday back again. But really join these sessions to learn what's out there and then allow us to support you if you do need the help with the application. And I believe, is that the last slide, sir? And we'll open it up for questions. All right, cool. You can scan that, or well, it's gone now, but really it takes you to the calendar. I think it takes you to the calendar where you can book a meeting, but hey, the floor is open. If you have questions, I just see a couple of hands. Stacy, is that an old hand or is it the same one? Or is it a new hand? All right, I think that's an old hand. Sarah, you can go ahead. Sarah Ma?
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. You did mention earlier when you were showing the list of the grants, there was one you had, you will be putting on there. I don't know if you want to share the link with us in the chat or will you wait until you add it to the slides?
Which one was that again?
I remember it starts with a P or something with a P, I believe.
Okay, if it was, yeah, it should be an active link in the slide deck. If it's not, I'd have to remember. I'll watch the recording and see which one I said so that I can put it into the email. But yeah, in the slide deck, all of the links are active. So it will take you to the one that, any of the ones that we mentioned.
All right, thank you.
All right, no worries. Chaitra.
Yeah, thank you. This was amazing. I don't know why I did not sign up for this on a Wednesday before, but glad I did. One question. So I know that you gave us a list of a lot of grants that you have worked with, but I have my eyes on some of the grants that would be opening up next year. And so is there a restriction on the grants that you help us with? Or like we can bring a grant application to you and you can help us with that grant as one of the services you provide? How does it work? I'm just wondering.
Yeah, for sure. So if it's something that you've already seen that you want to apply for, we can definitely support with that. And then that's where it's either we can look for other ones that we might not know about, or the ones that you already know about, we can help you with that application.
Okay. And do you also help with any of the SWIP applications? Like the placement applications, whereby
SWIP,
SWIP, I keep
SWIP.
it stands for, but it's where the government will reimburse like 75%, up to 70% of the employment cost. Do you?
Yes.
Okay.
So those like wage subsidy applications, yes, we do support with that.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, no worries. And Patricia, I did see your hand up there.
Hi, Ryan. Thank you as always.
My pleasure. Good seeing you.
You too. So I just have a quick question because last Wednesday I missed the 7 p.m., which was, I think, our last or one of our meetings for the investment readiness program that we were to submit for yesterday. So,
Right.
yes, so I managed to submit, which I'm really proud of myself. I got it in.
Excellent. Yes.
So I just wanted to ask, the one on the 30th that we have coming up, and it says December 1st, the readiness program for December 1st for 75,000. Is that that's another grant?
So it's the same one, but so if you applied yesterday and checked off both, that you're applying to the community foundations and the Foundation for Black Communities, then you're good. It's for those that are like, it's December 1st only for the Foundation for Black Communities. So some people, they did the deadline yesterday for the community foundations, and then they're doing the deadline December 1st for the Foundation for Black Communities, but you actually could have done it in the same application at the same time.
Oh, okay. So, because I think for me, I was just the Foundation for Black Communities because I was a sole proprietor. I'm not incorporated yet, right? So I
Right, so
applied for
you're
that.
good.
Say that again?
Yeah, so you're good. So it's the same one that's due December 1st for the
Okay.
Black community.
Okay. So I don't have to sign up for the 30th. I'm good.
No, you're good. Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you, Ryan. See you
Yeah,
soon.
good luck. Yes, please keep
Thank
us
you.
in the
You'll
loop.
be the first to know. If I get through, you'll be the first to know.
Love it. All right, awesome. And again, the floor is open. If there's any additional questions before we wrap up, feel free to unmute. Otherwise, I'll let everyone get back to their afternoon. Sarah, hey, go ahead.
Hi again. I wanted to find out, let's say if you are pretty much, let's say, new to the game of grant writing and grant seeking, so which of the, let's say, but you want to find out, okay, let's say your business, what type of let's say grants or you can qualify for, go after, or still open and all of that. So which of the, let's say, grant writing services, let's say, would be a better fit, like, to start with?
Yeah, so coming to the info sessions are great because we kind of do a high level. The funding summary would help really focus on your organization or your business and see what's available for that. So I would say that would be the best next step if you want to do a bit of a deeper dive into what you qualify for.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right, no worries.
I just have a comment.
Yes.
Right now, my situation is I have found out about a few grants, but I am feeling a little bit overwhelmed. So I really just need help going through the grants and writing them. So if you guys could help me with that, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, and I guess like a follow-up conversation just to see what would help alleviate the pressure. So yeah, booking that next meeting so we can kind of find out which ones you're working on, kind of how far are you along, and then what support is needed to make sure they get done. Would love to talk with you about that.
Okay, thank you so much.
Oh, our pleasure. All right. Checking in. I see your hand is up, Patricia. Feel free, or if that's an old one.
That's an old one.
All right, cool. Well, again, I won't keep you. I'll give you back 3 minutes, but always good to see you. I really appreciate. Oh, Sarah, did your hand go up?
Yes, one last one. Can we still,
Yes.
even for, let's say, can we still participate in let's say, the next one, which is on the 30th, even if we decide to go to one of the services or anything like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Because it might even answer some of the questions. It'll be specific to the investment readiness program. So we're going to be going question by question. So yeah, that might be a good first step. Well, I guess if you did want support with the grant writing for the investment readiness program, it would be good to reach out now because it is due next week. But
Okay.
even still, yeah, I mean, if you're already far along, I feel like the session on the 30th will kind of help you just get unstuck. If you're starting from scratch, it probably would be good to reach out and see how we can support you with the grant writing.
All right.
So not leaving it till
The-
November 30th to get us started, because yeah, it's a mad dash the day of, and typically my phone is off that day of. So yeah,
All right. Sounds good. Thank you so much.
no worries. All right, awesome. Again, enjoy the rest of your afternoon and your evening. Thank you so much. We shall talk soon, and if anything, we'll see you next week. All right,
Okay.
have a good
Have
one.
a good day.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.